So I wanted to show you a little tool I put together that allows you, somebody to access Cameo Systems Modeler, and at least the behaviors from there through JupyterLab, through a kind of a VNC setup, an open or no VNC setup that allows you to do some fun stuff. So let's take a look here. I've got this set up here, and you can see I have a Docker file here that builds this little setup. Big ones here are I install JupyterLab, no VNC, and Selenium. So I'm going to use Selenium, which is kind of an automated web browser controller, to run a web server, or at least control a web server that is started as part of Cameo. You'll see this stuff here in just a second. So I also included in that build a JupyterLab NoVNC, which essentially I build a NoVNC server down here real quickly, plug it in, and then I control it through our browser here. With the NoVNC plugin, so I can hit it right up. It comes up, brings up this Linux desktop. On here, I have a few tools installed, but the big one, of course, is Cameo. And so we're gonna start Cameo. Let me start Cameo CSM JSComs.mdzip. So this is an example file I have here, which will kick off Cameo. Starts it up here, allows you to look at what's going on, and you can see it. When you run Cameo Systems, the simulation toolkit, there's an option to install a plugin for a web server. That will allow, it essentially takes any UI you build inside Cameo and publishes it to the web, so you can click on it. But if I use Selenium, then I can use Python to automate the clicking, or button clicking, or reading files, or whatever I got to do. So it's pretty neat. Let me show you what it looks like here. Here's my real simple set. Very simple state machine, right? So it's literally two states, A and B, and I send a command, go to A, go to B. So the way you do this, though, is you build you a UI for this. So if you build a state machine, go here, build your UI, you drag your signals on here, you can actually control this through the UI. So I don't want to do that, though, because this can run through a web server on Cameo or out of Cameo. If you install it, it's right here, web server for Cameo Simulation Toolkit. So it's auto-installed here, but if you want to run this stuff yourself, you will have to install that yourself through their plugin. Okay, so let's keep going here. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and actually bring up the behavior here, and we'll run this externally from JupyterLab. Now remember, the JupyterLab, I guess don't remember, I didn't tell you that, but JupyterLab is being served from the same OS over here. So I have this little right up here, basically talks to you about controlling Cameo Systems Modeler from a WebSocket tool. Right now I'm going to go ahead and create a Selenium driver, web driver. I'm going to also grab my local host, which I expose at 8080 through the through the Docker file to. So if you expose that, you'll hit that from here. Let me run this, and then I can go ahead and start a Firefox WebDriver. Now what I do is I tell it to go ahead and get the Cameo CSP. It's waiting for that right now. So you can see here in the Docker image, it's opened a Mozilla Firefox setup, and that is being controlled now by my JupyterLab setup. So I'm going to tell it to go ahead and grab this JSCom HTML. And these are built, JSCom's HTMLs, I didn't build any of that. Cameo builds that for you when you plug in that web server tool. If you create a GUI and then you run it, it will build all this stuff up in the background, and it's a bunch of JavaScript and HTML pages. Pretty easy to parse and control. So anyway, let's grab it. Oh no. Oh, I didn't start. Sorry. You have to start it first. This is a problem. I'll figure this out. So let's start it and run it. Now it's live. So then when I go and grab this, start it again here. Should grab it. You should see it pop up, and you'll see the buttons pop up. There you go. And so they're live. So if I were to drag this down, see if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. So this is part of the web suite. So if I hit go to B, you'll see it goes to B. If I hit go to A, it goes to A. Right? Cool. But I don't care about doing that through a web browser. I want to do it in an automated fashion. So over here in JupyterLab, I have built this little tool to just start a button set here that allows me to click and communicate with that web browser. through Selenium. So if I say go to B, it goes to B. If I say go to A, it goes to A. And now we have, you can stop it, I can restart it. But I've got to figure out how to get this thing auto start. But it's pretty neat, and you can control some pretty complex behaviors right from JupyterLab. Now, one of the problems is I had to go in and find the information. For instance, A3, A2, A4 are the name of the buttons. I don't know where they're giving these names at or why they're developing the names in Cameo. I think I can probably control that too. But I should go in, I should build a little tool that auto sweeps the web browser tool over here and extracts all the information that needs to be pertinent so that we can, point-to-point Python variable versus JupyterLab, Cameo behavioral model variable. So I'm working on that. But anyway, it's pretty neat. I thought I'd share this with you guys. Nothing to it. And free. Beats Moxie from STK for free. So we'll try it. See how it works. Thanks.